So the first thing I want to say is a massive thank you. Thank you so much for taking this course. You are not going to be disappointed with the huge amount of knowledge that you're about to gain in the coming hours. I've got a massive amount of experience with Shopify over several years, and I cannot wait to share that with you. Now, I've no doubt that one of the reasons that you took this course, perhaps the main reason you took this course, is because you know that Shopify is in super hot demand, has been for several years and shows no sign of slowing down. So if you've got Shopify skills, you are very, very well placed for the future. And of course, that's exactly what you're about to learn on this course. But just in case you're in any doubt, let's have a look at some of the amazing statistics surrounding Shopify right now. So just to set the scene, I want you to appreciate how much e-commerce is growing on a global basis. So here we have some recent global e-commerce stats. And you can see here that since 2014, global e-commerce has risen from 1.3 trillion to 3.5 trillion. And next year it's forecast to go all the way to basically $5 trillion, which is a 400% increase in 7 years, which is absolutely amazing. It is, of course, a totally global trend. 50% of shoppers making purchases from overseas retailers. So anybody, anywhere with Shopify skills is very, very sought after. And you can see that the massive markets primarily are North America and Asia, which is enormous. So scrolling on down a bit further through this article, let's actually have a look at some Shopify statistics themselves, which are absolutely going to blow you away. In June 2019, 820,000 merchants were now using the Shopify platform, with an estimated 500,000 active stores. And those merchants are now running over 1 million businesses in 175 countries. So truly, truly a global demand. And here, this is amazing. Shopify is the third largest online retailer in the US after Amazon and eBay. That's absolutely incredible. Just a few years ago, this platform didn't even exist. Now it's at number 3, sitting just behind two of the biggest e-commerce giants in the last 20 years. And I've no doubt that's why over 22,000 students have taken this course, giving me over 1,700 reviews and a 4.6 star rating, which I'm very, very proud of. And so what are those students doing with all their newfound skills that this course is going to teach you? Well, one of the big things is to become either a Shopify consultant, a developer, or really anything to do with the Shopify platform. Let's dive over to another website and have a look at the sort of hourly rates that you can charge once you have this skill set. So I've jumped over here to Upwork, which is a huge marketplace for people to advertise their skills and gives us a great idea of what we can expect. So as you can see, I've simply typed in the word Shopify, and here we have the hourly rates. So this guy Mike is charging $35 an hour and has made over $100,000. $47 an hour, $125 an hour, $90 an hour, $47, $45, $40, $90, $40, $150. You get the idea, because as you would expect, with high demand comes the ability to charge high prices. But in addition to that, this course also gives you a fantastic foundation should you want to build your very own e-commerce business. So I hope you're as excited as I am. I hope you can hear it in my voice, because I really know that this course really does have the potential to change your life. So let's go. In the next lecture, you're going to see a link. I want you to click on that link, and that's going to kick off your Shopify free trial period. You can then follow with me throughout the entire course as you build out your amazing store and progress step by step towards becoming a Shopify expert. Okay, so if you clicked on the link in the previous lecture, you should be looking at a page like this. So if you've not clicked on the link in the previous lecture, please go back and do that, and then we can crack on with setting up your Shopify free trial. Now, this is very straightforward to do and just takes a few minutes. So as you can see, the first thing we need to do is to enter the email address. So enter your email address. So I will enter tim@ecommercemindset.com, and then simply click on Start Free Trial. Next, I will need to choose a password of some kind. So let me choose that. And then my store name. Now, this is something we can change later on, so we don't have to worry about it too much at this stage. But nevertheless, we do need to choose something. So if you're struggling with it at all, what I just suggest you do is you put your name and then e-commerce expert afterwards, all right? So for me, I'm going to put Tim e-commerce expert. Okay, so as I say, we can change this at any time, and as long as it's available, it will let you have it. Otherwise, it's going to alert you and say you can't have it, in which case you'll need to choose something else. But with your name followed by e-commerce expert, you're almost guaranteed that it hasn't yet been taken. So with that done, all I then need to do is to click on Create Your Store. We then sit tight while it starts to create the store, And in a moment, it's going to ask us for a bit more information. And here we go. So as you can see, it says, tell us a little about yourself. So first of all, are you already selling? Well, at the moment, we're not selling anything yet. So we'll put in, I'm not selling products yet. What is your current revenue? Well, clearly we've just started, so we're on 0. I'm just getting started. And which industry will you be operating in? And here we can just simply choose other. Okay, again, not particularly important. It's really more for their statistics. So we'll choose other. This we can leave empty because we are not yet designing or developing a store for a client. So with that done, all we need to do then is click on next. Which brings us to the final form of the setup where we need to add an address so we can get paid. Or as you can see here, it says this will be used as your default business address. Now it's probable that you don't even have a business address at the moment, so you can simply use your home address. Again, all of this stuff can be changed later on, so I really don't want you to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in my name and my address, and I'll see you in a moment when I'm done. Okay, so I'm all done. I've blurred out the sensitive information, so I hope you understand why. And now all I need to do is to click on Enter My Store here down at the bottom. So click on Enter My Store. And that's it. Within just a couple of minutes, we have set up a Shopify store, believe it or not. Now, of course, we've still got an awful lot to do, and I've got an absolute ton of stuff that I'm going to be teaching you during this course. But right now, what you're looking at is what we call the admin system or the back end. You'll see me alternating between those two as we go through the course. So in the next lecture, what I want to do is to give you a high-level overview of what this admin system is all about, so you can start to familiarize yourself with Shopify and take your first step on your journey to becoming a Shopify expert. Okay, welcome back to what is essential number 2, where we're going to take a high-level view of understanding our Shopify admin system. Now, just before I get going, I do want to emphasize the importance of taking action. I always say this in all of my courses and all of my students. I like to encourage everybody to take as much action as possible, because without action, you're not really going to change anything. What I'm going to teach you on this course is how to become a Shopify expert, and you've seen the possibilities ahead of you. So I really encourage you to start off your free trial. You've literally got nothing to lose. Go back to the lecture before if you haven't done so already. Kick off your free trial and just go with me step by step through this process, because as you do, you're going to get more and more familiar and more confident with Shopify and everything that it has to offer. Okay, so as I said in the last lecture, this is the Shopify admin system that you're looking at right now, or sometimes what I call the Shopify backend. And the way that I like to present this is as if it's like the back room to a physical store. So imagine a physical store in the real world. You go in, you're browsing around the products, and there's that back room where somebody is basically doing all the orders, preparing the products, all of the good stuff that's going on in the background to actually make that store work. This is all managed from the Shopify backend that you're looking at now. Now, the store itself, the bit that you walk into, is in fact already available within your Shopify setup. I mean, it's not great, but it is there. And if you go down to your online store here and just click on this eye, it's going to open up another tab that's going to show your store. So as I said, it's not brilliant, but we do have the bare bones of a store already. And bearing in mind that we haven't done anything, this is super cool. So we've got our sort of logo, right? Tim Expert E-commerce, which of course comes from the store name that I chose. We've got this hero image here. And as I scroll down, you can see, you can imagine that we can place products in all these various places and build out what can be a very cool looking store. And of course, we're going to start getting into more and more of this detail as we go through the course. But for the moment, let's just head back to the admin system, because the first thing I want to talk about is the trial. You're going to see here your trial has just started, or it might say that there are so many days left of your trial. And depending on when you're taking this, the length of the trial may vary. It could be 14 days, it could be up to 90 days. It really just depends on what the situation is with Shopify. But the point is, you don't need to worry about it at the moment. What I want to do on this course is to take full advantage of your free trial period so that you can familiarize yourself with as much stuff as possible. And we will get to a point where Shopify is paying, because ultimately it's a paying platform. But by that point, I want you to be really confident with everything that Shopify has to offer and decide for yourself whether you want to take that step in offering your services as a Shopify expert. So let's have a look and see how this admin system is laid out. Well, up here in the top left hand corner, we have the name of my store, Tim E-commerce expert, that we chose on the way in. Then we have on the left-hand side my main menu, and on the right-hand side we have this big pane that obviously is going to change as we choose items from the menu. And then just to make our life a bit easier, we've got a search bar up here in the top where we can search the store, any Shopify resources like apps, blogs, and any kind of help at any time. Okay, so those are the bare bones of your Shopify admin system. So let's now have a closer look at this whole menu system over here on the left-hand side. Now, what I want to say is that Shopify has become a wildly successful product because it does one thing extremely well. Okay, it's not a jack of all trades. It is very much a master of one, and that is e-commerce. Okay, so this whole software is focused on e-commerce and setting up e-commerce stores. Now, I know you're probably familiar with that, and that's why you're here, but I just want to emphasize that. And these items in the menu reflect that, okay, because we have everything that you would require to run an e-commerce store. So clearly we are going to have products that we're going to put in our store, and then customers are going to come along and they're going to buy those products, and we're going to get orders, which can all be managed from the admin system. Of course, we've then got all kinds of analytics that we can look at to see all kinds of good stats to figure out what exactly is going on with our shop. We can also get into marketing. We can offer discounts, which are essentially coupons. And you've also got apps. Now, if you've got a smartphone, which I suspect you will have, you're probably very familiar with the concept of apps, okay? Shopify is no different. There's all kinds of apps that we can add into a Shopify store to enhance its capabilities. Now, we've already had a look at the online store, and the online store is essentially a sales channel. It's a way for people to reach our products. Now, there's many other sales channels that we can have with Shopify, and if you click on here, you're going to see some of them. So, for example, I could be selling products at a point of sale, actually in a shop, or maybe on Facebook, or Instagram, or eBay. I can go on down through the list here, but you very quickly get the idea that Shopify is very powerful and integrates with a whole host of extremely well-known platforms. But just coming back to the online store itself, if I click on this is the menu, which of course we're going to be getting into in more detail, that enables us to build out our Shopify store as we want it. And then finally, just for completeness, down the bottom here, we have the settings right down the bottom. And as you can see, there are many settings. Now, the settings are effectively the building blocks, the foundation stones of any Shopify store. And because they're a little bit boring and because they're hidden away, many people overlook them, don't understand what they're about. And then when they get problems later on down the road, they don't understand why. Which leads me into how this course is structured, how you're going to become a Shopify expert. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start off with these settings. Yes, the beginning of this course is not going to be the most exciting, but it is going to be super important. We're going to go through each of these settings just briefly, just to give you a high-level view so that you understand the importance of these foundation stones. Now, with that in place, what we can then do is dive into the online store. We can start to look at the online store itself and understand all of the components, the blog posts, the pages, the themes, the navigation, etc. We're going to understand all of these things so that you really have a fantastic idea of how to put a store together. Then once we've got our store, that's when we can start heading further up the menu here, because then we can start adding products, and then we can start attracting customers and getting orders and doing marketing and offering discount coupons, and of course the all-important apps. So if you look at the way this menu is laid out, we're going to build from the bottom up, just like you'd build any building, any skyscraper, put it that way. We're going to start by building a fantastic foundation by understanding the settings. We're then going to build the store, and we're going to finish off by putting on the roof. Okay, so I hope that analogy works very well for you and you're really excited and understand properly why this course is going to turn you into a Shopify expert.